In Creo Parametric, you can define the CNC toolpaths for manufacturing your part. This also includes drilling the holes in your part. In a previous video, I showed how you could create a drill group in order to select the holes that you want to drill in advance. So in this example, maybe I'm going to use the rule surfaces option, and then I will query select to the surface. And this way I'm creating a drill group containing 4 holes on that surface. I will click the OK button, and with the drill group still selected, I can go to the Mill tab, and here we have the various different hole making cycles that you have. The default is the standard type of hole, and this will create a statement that is cycle/drill in your model. Let's talk about some of these other different options before we create our standard type of drilling cycle. You also have the option for peck, and there's a drop-down list where you can choose either deep or break chip. Again, those will determine the kind of cycle statement that you're going to get. There's also an option here for web, and with web, that's if you want to drill through multiple plates. And that'll end up giving you a cycle through statement. Let's see, there's also tapping here. Tapping is if you want to create a threaded hole. We also have choices for boring, where you're either doing your standard boring or your back spotting. And the back spotting will end up giving you go-to and spindle statements. You can also do countersinks and back countersinks. Let me skip over custom for a second. Here we have reaming. Reaming allows you to create a precision finish in your holes. And also we have the face option. And this is so it'll dwell at the final depth in order to create a really clean surface at the bottom. But the custom option here is if you want to create your own custom drilling cycles with even your own custom cycle statements. But anyhow, let's go to the standard command. And you'll notice that we have 4 holes selected here because of what was pre-selected before I entered into this command. You can even see a preview of where the holes are going to be drilled in the model. But before I go on to some of the depth options, here we have our tool. By default, it's using the previous tool, but I don't want to use that tool. I have a drill that I want to use that corresponds to the diameter of these holes. I will click on the Yes button in order to copy the data over. If you click on the Tool Manager, this will open up the Tool Setup dialog box so you can see the tool that's going to be used. Once again, I like to use a solid tool. Let me cancel out of here. And you can also turn on the display of a tool preview, but the tool preview is just showing you basically the length of the tool and the diameter. I'm going to turn that off. So let's take a look at the References tab. So by default, it is using an automatic start and end depth. And with the end depth that is currently configured, it's going to drill all the way through the workpiece as well. But let's say I don't want that. Instead of using an automatic end depth, we have a drop-down list where you could choose other different options like to a reference or through all, or we could choose to go through to a offset from the start value. In other words, a blind depth. And in this case here, I might want to select a reference. And for the reference, I'm going to query select to the bottom of the part. And so I like that one, and you can see how the preview updates where it's only going to the actual depth of the part. When you are measuring the depth, it can either go to the shoulder of the drill or to the tip of the drill. You're probably going to want to go to the shoulder like the default value. Then we have this other option here to use a breakout distance. And I'm going to use that breakout distance because I want to make sure that goes all the way through. Speaking of breakout distance, we can go to the Parameters tab. And let me change that I'm looking like, can I go straight? Oops, I accidentally probably changed the depth reference here. Let me go to this. And Let me go back to the parameter tab, and I want to look sort of like slight on at the model. You can see how we're getting the depth of the hole, and it's going through to the shoulder of the tool. And here's where you can specify an additional breakout distance. So for example, I type in a value of 3. Hopefully you are able to see that the depth of the hole got a little bit bigger. And I can say, maybe 2 is good enough. And then we have other different basic parameters like our cut feed. Maybe I need a smaller value for that one. Here we have our scan type. I'll talk about that more in a moment. Our spindle speed for this one, I think I want something more like 1,000, and a coolant option. As always, you can click on the Edit Machining Parameters button in order to open up the Parameters dialog box. So here are the basic parameters for defining this kind of hole making cycle. If you click on the All button, well, we get a whole bunch more options. And once again, let's jump over to a slide deck just to talk through a few of these. Okay, one of the basic parameters was one called scan type, and there are a bunch of different options. The default is shortest. That is what was selected for this particular cycle. But you have other choices like type 1, type spiral, type 1 direction, and pick order. There's that breakout distance, which will add an additional Z depth to your cycle statements. You can also specify a peck depth, which is a depth increment for each pass. You can specify a clear distance where your motion will change from the plunge feed rate to the cut feed rate. There's also a wrap to distance, like a rapid to distance, and that's where it will change to rapid advance to the top of the hole. And also you could specify a pull-out distance if you want the tool to return to a different height than the clear distance. All right, now that we've talked about those few parameters, let's jump back over to Creo Parametric. So I have not changed any of these different parameters. Let me cancel out of the dialog box, and I'm going to rotate my model. Let's talk through some of the other different tabs. Here we have the clearance tab, and it's using the retract distance value from a previous sequence. I'm fine with that. You can also specify start and end points. You can also choose which surfaces you want to check for gouging. From the Options tab, just like the Options tab in other NC sequences, you could specify a cutting tool adapter. From Tool Motions, you can customize the tool motion. From the Process tab, you can specify times to use for Pro Process for NC. And the Properties tab allows you to change the name of this feature that will be created, as well as add in any comments that can be output to the cutter location file. And so I am happy with everything in here. So I will click on the check mark in order to create it. And once again, we can right click on this and we can choose to play the path. And there we see our tool. And let's crank the speed down a little bit. I will click on the play button, and that went really, really fast. Let's see, let's go all the way back to the end. Let me crank it very, very slow, and then hit the play button. And there you can see a little bit better how it computed the motion for this particular hole making cycle. Anyhow, that's how you can drill your holes in your NC manufacturing models.